Michelle, I wanted to touch base. I talk to a lot of investors every day, and many of them have never purchased a property before in a coastal community.
Sure.
And we've lived through a few storms, and I think we've gotten really, really great at navigating them. Can you tell me a little bit about what makes it different owning an investment property in a coastal community?
Sure. There are several things, but the most important thing an owner needs to be aware of is insurance. Insurance, especially if they're buying a condominium or a townhome in an HOA community. We find that oftentimes owners in condos are underinsured and they don't realize it. So we strongly suggest that you obtain your own policy and not just rely on the HOA master policy.
Yeah, that would be good for like a liability policy or something like that in addition to.
That's right. People don't realize that the HOA master policy doesn't cover their property. It only covers the structure of the building itself. So in order to make sure that your contents, your appliances, your cabinets are covered, you need to have your own policy. And we always suggest that they contact an insurance agent to determine what they need.
Yeah, that's a good point. And many of them that I even talk to don't even realize that you should have a wind and hail policy for your single family home.
That's right. In coastal North Carolina, wind and hail is a requirement, and depending on your location, you may even need flood insurance.
Yeah, that's a good thing to note too, because we already know that the tenant's going to be required to have renter's insurance for their own contents.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I think it's important to be well covered because you don't need it till you really need it.
Yeah, that's true. And some additional riders that an owner may want to consider are going to be things like mold policies or loss of rent policies. You know, there's small riders that you can add to your policy that really come in handy in the event of a major storm.
Yeah, that's true, because I can remember years ago we had one, and a lot of owners, the tenant had to move completely out for the repairs to be completed, and they missed 3 months of rent, and you're going to want to recoup that somehow.
That's
and
right.
Being insured for it would be wonderful.
That's right.
Good. That's good to know. And what else should they be doing? Should they review the policies annually?
Absolutely. We recommend that owners always review their insurance policies annually, make sure that it's up to date, that they have the coverage they need. And more importantly is before June, which kicks off hurricane season in our area, they should pull out those policies and make sure that they have all of the information handy in the event of a storm.
Yes. I think I remember too that some people wait until the last minute, and if there's a storm out there, they're not going to change your policy if a storm's out there in the Atlantic already.
That's right. No changes to policy and no purchases once a named storm has been announced.
Yes, and this is also something that we tell owners that they don't realize is when they're moving out of the home and they're giving it to us to manage, about a month before their move date, they should be reaching out to their insurance company to make sure they're changing their policy.
Absolutely. That's a great point as well.
Yeah, like a non-owner occupied dwelling policy, which is
Yes.
a little bit different than their primary residence.
That's right.